an ACON curtain on a sloped ceiling or a sloped purlin or beam or whatever it may be, a few things we need to consider. First of all, we need to determine the structure. It might be ideal if you send us a picture of what you're trying to attach to, and we can make a recommendation. Also, do you need the curtains to roll open, or are they going to be static in position? Do you need a complete seal from floor to ceiling? This would be to control dust or to control climate. Or also, if that is the case, closing the gap above the hardware to make sure that it is a complete seal. And also, what information ACON needs from you. So, to go over this briefly, this is a pretty typical structure that you might find in a warehouse or an industrial application. And you can see here the ceiling has a slope to it. So if you want your curtain to roll open, which would be hardware which allows the curtain to roll from side to side, you obviously can't have the curtain track at a slope. Otherwise it's going to roll to one end. So the way we compensate for the slope is we use either a chain or cable or a threaded rod of various lengths to make sure that the curtain track is this parallel with the floor. So if we were going to put a curtain here, we would have to use various lengths of threaded rod or chain or cable to compensate for that slope. If it's a static curtain and you want to attach to the purlin or the joist, then you would use a edge clamp, which is shown here, or you'd use a aluminum angle. So edge clamps simply just pinch right to the beam, and then from there they have a grommet which will allow you to attach the curtain to the beam clamp. Now if you're attaching the curtain going this way to a sloped ceiling, you would use the aluminum angle if you're attaching directly with the ceiling. And then you would pinch the angle to the joists, and then you would use the aluminum angle and use self-tapping Tek screws and attach the curtain to those Tek screws, which would pinch it to the angle. So with rolling hardware, obviously you have the ability to open the curtain. With static, you're going to have a curtain that doesn't move, but you could use entry and exit points if it was a static curtain, such as freestanding strip doors, roll-up doors, swinging doors. If you go to our website at the bottom, towards the bottom, you'll see entry options, which will allow you to do that. So if we go down a little bit here, we'll see an example of a customer who's compensated for the slope of his ceiling. You can see his is kind of going something like that. So he's using various lengths to compensate for the slope, and it keeps the curtain parallel to the floor, and then he has a perfectly level curtain. Now, if you need a complete seal, you're going to want to have a curtain valance which will close up these gaps above the main curtain. So to do that, what we would want you to do is tell us the distance from the roof deck or the purlin or wherever you're going to attach the curtain valance. And we're going to want to go 12 inches below the main curtain. So the curtain valance would be like this, and then full length. And it would close up all this area above here. So that's going to give you an environmental seal. So that will control dust or temperature variations more effectively. So to show you a picture of that, you can come down here, and then we can see here's a valance that's installed. You can see it's attached right to the roof deck, and then it comes down. His primary curtain probably starts somewhere in here. And what you can't see is he's got threaded rods holding this up. The threaded rods, they're very easy to install, and they're probably the most common for compensating for slopes for the rolling curtains. Here is an edge clamp where it's clamped on. The threaded rod you're going to use is a 3/8 inch. And you can pick that up at any local hardware store. It's not supplied by ACON due to the various lengths that customers want, and shipping it's kind of hard. So pick that up at a local hardware store. It goes right into our edge clamps, and then you use just a nut and a washer, and then it holds it up. So very easy to install. And if this was a chain or cable, it would look just like this, except this would be a small cable or a chain. So the information that we need from you, first of all, you're going to need to pick a static or a rolling track. If it is a rolling track that you're after, what we're going to want, obviously, is the curtain height that you're after, so the distance from the top to the bottom. And the height above the curtain actually will not matter to us because you're just going to compensate for that based on the threaded rod or chain or cables that you use. If you're going to get a curtain valance, to seal it, we're going to need to know the height of the curtain valance. So as I mentioned, the height that we're after is from roof deck to about 12 inches below where you're going to start the main curtain. So with that information, that'll be enough info for us to provide you with the detailed quote. So hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, contact your local AECON representative. We will be glad to help.